Hi, this is Heather with Affinity for Yarn, and today I want to show you the Pebble Stitch. You'll see the Pebble Stitch here on a blanket I just recently finished. I really love the texture it gives, and it's a really easy pattern once you get the hang of it. So let's get started. Okay, so for the foundation row, you're going to want to go ahead and do your foundation row in a multiple of 4 and then add 2 stitches. So it's 4 plus 2. For my example here, I have 14 stitches done. So it's 12 stitches plus 2. And then for row 1, we're basically going to be doing a row of single crochet stitches here. So we're going to find the stitch, or the chain. That's the second one from the hook here. So we're going to go ahead and single crochet. So single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And then in each chain across. Okay, so that is the completed view for row 1. Again, just a row of single crochet stitches. And then to finish off, we're going to go ahead and chain 1 and then turn our work. And then let's get started on row 2. For row 2, we're going to go ahead, and this is going to be our first row with some of the cluster stitches. So to go ahead and get started with row 2, we're going to start with a single crochet into that first stitch here. So single crochet. And then for the next stitch here, we're going to go ahead and do our first cluster stitch. So to do that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to yarn over your hook. You're going to insert your hook into that stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, so you'll have 3 loops on the hook. And then we're going to yarn over again. We're going to insert our hook into that same stitch here, so that one right there. And then yarn over and pull up a loop. So now you have 5 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on the hook here. And it's a little bit sticky. There we go. Sometimes the splitting of the yarn gets my hook stuck a little bit. Okay, so that's our first cluster stitch. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch. And then into the next stitch here, we're going to do another cluster stitch. So we'll yarn over, insert the hook. And you got 3 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over and then insert your hook in the same stitch again. And then you got 5 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on the hook. So that's going to be the pattern across the row here. You're going to alternate between a single crochet, which will be the next one, and then a cluster stitch. And then I will meet you at the end. Okay, so for the end, we're going to go ahead. I got the last 2 stitches here. We're going to go ahead. We just did a single crochet. So now we're going to do a cluster stitch in this one, in the second to last stitch. And then for the last stitch, we're going to just do a single crochet. So basically that whole pattern will be copied or followed across the row. Okay, so this is the finished look for row 2. So you'll see here, I'm going to flip my work here and just show you. So the clusters really show up once you flip the work. Then you can really see each of the clusters out here. So that's what you want to see. All right, to finish off row 2, we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to turn our work. And then we'll go ahead and get started on row 3. For row 3, it's going to be another row of just single crochet stitches across. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to single crochet into this first stitch here. Single crochet, and we're going to continue that across the row. Okay, and I'm at the last stitch here, so I'm going to go ahead and just finish off with a single crochet. So let me set my work down so you can see. So that's the completed look for row 3. Now to finish it off, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We'll get started on row 4. Row 4 is going to be another row of cluster stitches. So to go ahead and get started with row 4, we're going to do a single crochet into that first stitch here. And then we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch. And what that's going to do is that's going to offset the cluster stitches, and you'll see that when we turn over the work, so that they're a little bit offset and not lined on top of each other, and it gives it a nice textured look. Okay, so we did 2 single crochets here. Now we're going to go ahead and do a cluster stitch. So again, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. There's 3 on the hook, yarn over, insert your hook again, and then yarn over and pull up a loop. So there's 5 loops on the hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 5. And then the next stitch will be a single crochet, and then the next stitch will be a cluster. So we'll yarn over and insert your hook, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, insert it again, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 5. So we're going to continue that pattern across the row of alternating between the single crochet and then the cluster stitch. And I will meet you back for the last 3 stitches. Okay, so we're at the last 3 stitches. And again, I just finished up a single crochet. So the next stitch I'm going to do in here for the 3rd to last stitch is a cluster stitch. And then now I got 2 stitches left. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. And then to finish off row 4, I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet in the last stitch. Okay, so I'm going to set my work down so you can see. So that's completed look of row 4. Again, to really see the cluster stitch, I'm going to flip the work over. And then you'll see here, you'll see the clusters are all offset. So you got them kind of not straight on top of each other, which is what you want. And some of these pop down. So there, you can kind of take your finger to pop them back up again. So that's what it looks like for row 4. And then you'll see here on the ends for row 4, you'll see there's 2 single crochets here and 2 here to help make sure that they get offset. To finish up row 4, I'm going to go ahead and chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work. And we'll go ahead and get started on row 5. All right, for row 5, which is going to be the last row in this pattern repeat, it's just going to be a row of single crochet stitches. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to find that first stitch here and single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet in each stitch across. And I'm on the last stitch here. I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet in that last stitch. I'm going to set my work down here so you can see. So that's the completed look with row 5. So that's the pattern repeat for this. You're going to be repeating rows 2, which is the cluster stitch, row 3 single crochet, row 4 cluster stitch, and row 5 single crochet. So you're just going to repeat that until the length of the blanket that you want. So that's it. Again, real quick before I forget, you're going to go ahead and chain 1 and then turn your work just so you can get started. So that you get started with the next row here. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for future videos. Thanks. Have a great day.